Yes, I see you, Jeremy Corbyn. I see you for the manipulative, pandering liar you really are. No matter what you do or what you say, I will always remember you as a scheming rat that sat down in your luggage compartment of a packed train, giving the impression that you were just one of the people, and then it turned out there were plenty of places to sit, and it was just an ill-thought-out publicity stunt that backfired, making you look like a complete tit. So here he is, giving a speech at Glastonbury. For those outside the UK, it's a music festival for the middle-class left, who can afford a £240 ticket and pretend to be working class for the weekend by living in a tent and smelling like piss. Unlike the first ever Glastonbury Festival, in 1970, which was more for everyone and it was a £1 entrance, then in 1971 it was totally free. Now it's just another money-making machine where you can be overcharged for your warm beer, but hey, that's free market and how capitalism works. But I digress. Now to listen to some of the drivel that comes out of this man's face.
You brought the spirit of music, you brought the spirit of love, you brought the spirit of ideas, and you brought the spirit of great messages. And if you can see that far, look on the wall right over there that surrounds this wonderful festival.
Yes, Jeremy, there is a wall around the field. Do you know why there's a wall around the venue? To stop people coming in who haven't paid for a ticket. To keep those out who want in for free. To keep those out who don't want to contribute to the event. Because if you let them all in for free, then the organisers wouldn't be able to afford to put on shows in the future, would they? That's how economics work. There's also security standing outside the gates and patrolling the perimeter of the walls. Do you know why? Again, to stop people from sneaking in without paying, and to prevent others from coming in who might be carrying illegal weapons or other contraband that might be harmful to others there.
And there's a message on that wall for President Donald Trump. And you know what it says? Build bridges, not walls.
Do you even hear yourself? Can you not understand the hypocrisy spilling out of your mouth right now? You claim to want to build bridges instead of walls while you're behind a big wall that keeps out miscreants and non-desirables from the festival. Jesus Christ! And everyone fucking cheers. How can you get that many retards in one space?
Do you know, politics is actually about everyday life. It's about all of us, what we dream, what we want, what we achieve, and what we want for everybody else. And what was fascinating about the last 7 weeks of election campaigning around Britain is, do you know what? The commentariat got it wrong. The elites got it wrong.
Got what wrong exactly? Does Corbyn live in some alternate reality? Because the last time I checked, Labour lost the election. And Donald Trump is not your peer. Because unlike him, you lost to a vile, unpopular hag. So what does that say about you? If you can't win an election against someone who is reviled as Theresa May, who by all accounts massively fucked up the election, was shit at a job as Home Secretary, and you still couldn't beat her. That speaks volumes about you, Corbyn.
There's a number of things, they're very simple, very basic questions we should ask ourselves. Is it right that so many people in our country have no home to live in and only a street to sleep on?
While I agree that homelessness is an issue that needs to be addressed, there are shelters everywhere, and charities to get people off the streets and into homes.
Is it right that so many people are frightened of where they live at the moment, having seen the horrors of what happened in Grenfell Tower?
No, it's not right. That's why hundreds of people were evacuated from their homes in similar towers, only being able to take what they could carry with them.
Is it right that so many people live in such poverty in a society surrounded by such riches? No, it obviously is not.
That's why we have all kinds of safety nets put into place, like the welfare state, job seekers allowance, family allowance, universal credit, and other things like that. No, they're not perfect, but what do you propose, Jeremy? Take all the property from the rich people who've worked for everything they own? I don't give a shit even if they were born privileged and had all the material wealth handed to them. It's still theirs, and to take it from them at gunpoint is still absolutely reprehensible. You commie bastard.
And is it right that European nationals living in this country, making their contribution to our society, working in our hospitals, schools and universities, don't know if they're going to be allowed to remain here. I say they all must stay and they all must be part of our world and part of our community.
Should they? Is it right that Britain should take the best doctors, nurses, scientific researchers and teachers from other countries that need them just as badly, yet those countries are left with mediocre ones at best? Because that's the first step on how to destabilise and create more poverty and economic problems in those countries. It's also not right that thousands of people in this country fear rape and pedo rings targeting young girls, but people like Corbyn want to sweep that under the rug.
Do you know what? When people across the world think the same, cooperate the same, maybe in different languages, in different faiths, in different cultures, peace is possible and must be achieved.
Wow, did you really just say that? If everyone thinks the same, peace is possible? Okay, sure thing. Let's criminalise wrongthink.
And you know what? Let's stop the denigration of refugees, people looking for a place of safety in a cruel and dangerous world. They are all human beings, just like all of us here today.
Oh wow, I didn't realise they were humans. Then let's let them all in!
Looking for a place of safety and looking to make their contribution to the future of all of us. So let's support them in their hour of need, not see them as a threat and a danger.
But a lot of them are a threat and a danger, and not wanting to make a contribution either. Most of these so-called refugees are economic migrants from countries that aren't even in a war, and they're not even literate in their own language, so how the hell are they possibly going to make any contribution other than bring unemployment and crime?
But let's also look at instability and problems around the world and tackle the causes of war, the greed for natural resources, the denial of human rights, the irrational imprisonment of political opponents. Let's look to build a world of human rights, peace, justice and democracy all over the planet.
As in Germany? Yes, you're absolutely correct, Jezza. Raids on people's homes and arrests for liking and sharing a Facebook post is definitely against people's human rights. And you also need to look closer to home as well. Like, for instance, teaching a dog funny yet bad taste tricks is not an arrestable offence in a free, moderate, democratic society. But here we are. But I really do see through your bullshit, Jeremy. I see that you're trying to repeat what Tony Blair did back in the 90s and rekindle that whole cool Britannia bollocks, just as he hobnobbed with actors and rock stars of the day, using them to make the general public think that Tony was just another person of the people and was an Oasis fan. I'm astounded at how many people in the UK have such short memories and don't see that you're trying to do the same thing. But I see it, Jeremy. I see you for what you really are. Let's hear some more of the ridiculous shit this man has said recently.
Chavez strode the world, inspiration to all of us, fighting back against austerity and neoliberal economics in Europe, showed us there is a different and a better way of doing things. It's called socialism, it's called social justice, and it's something that Venezuela has made a big step towards.
Of course, Hugo Chavez is a real great leader and an inspiration for all. This was taken from the New York Times. Cumana, Venezuela. With delivery trucks under constant attack, the nation's food is now transported under armed guard. Soldiers stand watch over bakeries. The police fire rubber bullets at desperate mobs storming grocery stores, pharmacies and butcher shops. A 4-year-old girl was shot to death as street gangs fought over food. Because that's true socialism. That's social justice.
And what's so impressive about Cuba is the education and the health services. And I think the legacy of Castro will be that, but will also be this enormous figure on the world stage, the one who campaigned against apartheid and the one who brought a different language and a different set of values. Latterly, things have changed a lot in Cuba. There is a greater recognition that economic progress must go hand in hand with improvements in human rights and the rights of free speech, and I think that's changed and developed a lot in Cuba. But I think history will show that Castro was such a key figure.
Oh, so as a side note, Jezza admits that there were a few human rights issues, but it's just a small price to pay for education and healthcare. The fact that being politically opposed to Castro is a crime, and being gay, trans, or even testing positive for HIV is a criminal offence and is fine as long as we have free healthcare, right? For fuck's sake, people, why would anyone vote for a piece of shit that thinks like this? Communism is just as evil as Nazism, and that's why Jezza needs to get on the chopper. It's okay, Corbyn. It's a free ride. Trust me.